Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Tuesday, January 31st, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want to access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comment section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. The Tuesday NBA schedule will get underway with a matchup between the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The Heat, 28-23, have won 7 of their last 10 games and hold a 1-game lead over New York for 6th place in the East. On Sunday, Miami allowed Charlotte to shoot 54% from the field during a 122-117 road loss. The Cavaliers' bench should get a decent boost from the likely return of Kevin Love, 8.5 ppg, 6.8 reb, 1.9 ast, and his ability to stretch the floor, 35.4% from 3 this season. He didn't play in their first matchup, and Cleveland still won by 26 points. Even better, for Cavs bettors, is that Heat star Jimmy Butler is questionable for this game with a quad contusion. While both teams have wins over contenders in their last 5, Celtics and Pelicans for Miami, Bucks and Clippers for Cleveland, those teams were all missing star players, so it's hard to get an accurate read on their current form. Our team pick is Cleveland Cavaliers minus 5.5 points. In lieu of those circumstances, I'm defaulting to overall performance on the season, and Cleveland has simply been better as evidenced by their first win. I predict they wake up for this key seeding matchup and handily cover the minus 5.5 points. These teams are ranked first, Cleveland, 106.9, and second, Miami, 108.4, in points allowed per game. They're both also ranked in the bottom 3 in terms of their pace of play, meaning that they average fewer possessions per game than the vast majority of the NBA. Their first game is a great illustration of this, as the two squads combined for only 200 total points. Since then, the Heat have only gotten better defensively, though it's arguable that the Cavaliers have regressed slightly. Examining the matchup history, the under has hit in 9 of the last 12 games that Miami has played in Cleveland. Both of these teams are on 4-1 runs for the under in their last 5 games. Our total pick is under 209 points. The total has been set quite low, but their first game this season being such a low-scoring affair gives me confidence in taking the under here. New York Knicks vs Los Angeles Lakers. In the first game of a Tuesday night NBA on TNT doubleheader, the Los Angeles Lakers will travel to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks. This will be the second of a back-to-back on the road for Los Angeles, who was outscored by 14 points over the final 12 minutes of last night's 121-104 loss against Brooklyn. The Lakers, 23-28, missed 14 of 37 free throw attempts and shot just 40% from the field. I am going to take the New York Knicks, minus 1.5 at home, as the Lakers have continued to struggle on the defensive end of the court, and Los Angeles could possibly be without Davis or James. They didn't play in Monday night's game, as they were both dealing with injuries. Los Angeles is also allowing the 27th most points per game, and they have the 19th lowest adjusted defensive rating. The Knicks will be able to consistently score against them all night, which will allow them to pull away. New York is currently scoring the 16th most points per game, and they have the 8th highest adjusted offensive rating. They will find open shots throughout this game, and I expect them to take advantage. I also see Los Angeles having a difficult time scoring. New York is allowing the 12th least amount of points per game, and they have held their opponents to the second lowest shooting percentage from the floor. They will continue to contest shots near the rim and on the outside, as they won't allow the Lakers to score enough points to cover this spread. Pick the New York Knicks at home and lay the points, minus 1.5. Although Los Angeles is on a back-to-back, I like the over in this one, as the Lakers' offense can score a lot of points, while their defense also struggles. The Lakers, meanwhile, are 27-23 in hitting the over, while New York is 26-23 while at home. The Knicks are 14-11 in hitting the over, and even on no rest, LA is 6-2 in hitting the over. Our total pick is over. Meanwhile, the Lakers are playing at a pace of 104.1, which ranks second, while New York plays at a pace of 99.8, which ranks 25th, but will have to play faster due to the Lakers making this a fast-paced game. Finally, in LA's last 10 games, the games are averaging 237.6 ppg, while New York is averaging 232.4 ppg. Milwaukee Bucks vs Charlotte Hornets. In Tuesday night NBA action, the Charlotte Hornets will invade Fiserv Forum to face the Milwaukee Bucks. The Hornets, 15-36, were ravaged by injuries during the first half of the season and have their sights set on the future. On Sunday, Charlotte outscored Miami by 9 points during the third quarter of a 122-117 home victory. Milwaukee is one of the best teams in the NBA at home, and I like the Bucks to get the win and cover the spread. Milwaukee is 17-8 against the spread this season as a home favorite, while the Bucks are 27-23 at TS this season, which is third best in the NBA. Charlotte, meanwhile, is 11-11-2 at TS as a road underdog and 22-27-2 at TS overall. The Bucks' offense will be able to take advantage of the Hornets' defense, which has struggled to contain star players. As well, in Charlotte's last 5 losses, the average margin of defeat is 17.4 points, as the Hornets often get blown out when they lose, which is what I expect here. Take the Bucks to cover. I like the over in this one as the Bucks' offense should be able to score a ton of points against Charlotte's defense, while the Hornets' offense is also good enough to chip in enough points. Charlotte is currently 27-24 in hitting the over, while on the road the Hornets are 19-9, and Milwaukee is 17-8 at home in hitting the over, which is the best in the NBA, and 26-24 overall in hitting the over. The Bucks currently play at a pace of 101.1, which ranks 18th, while the Charlotte plays at a pace of 102.3, which ranks 12th. In the 2 games these two teams have played this season, the games went for an average of 224 points. Our total pick is over. Finally, in the Hornets' last 10 games, the games are averaging 233.8 ppg, while in Milwaukee's last 10 games, the games are averaging 235.7 ppg. Chicago Bulls vs LA Clippers. The United Center will play host to a Tuesday night NBA clash between the LA Clippers and the Chicago Bulls. The Clippers, 28-25, have split their first 28 road games and trail Sacramento by 1.5 games for third place in the Western Conference standings. On Sunday, LA trailed by 16 points after 1 quarter and could never recover during a 122-99 road loss against Cleveland. Chicago hasn't been the best on their home floor as they are only 12-10-1 against the spread in the Windy City. The Bulls have relied on DeRozan and Lavin to carry the load as Chicago's reserve scoring has not always been there this year. If one of these 2 players is held in check, it is usually a long night for Chicago. On Tuesday, they welcome one of the best defensive teams in the league. The Clippers are allowing their opponents to make the 8th lowest amount of field goals this season. With a strong defense, George and Leonard should do enough to see out a victory. Our team pick is Los Angeles Clippers minus 3.5 points. George and Leonard have had more than a few days off after missing their last game against Cleveland. We could see some rust and poor shot making in this game. Defense will be a key factor in this game as both teams do a solid enough job at containing their opponents. Our total pick is under 230.5 points. The under is 5-1 in the Clippers' last 6 games following an against the spread loss. The under is 12-2 in the Bulls' last 14 Tuesday games. Denver Nuggets vs New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans look to snap an 8-game losing streak on Tuesday when visiting the Denver Nuggets. New Orleans is 26-25 and tied for second in the Southwest Division with Dallas, 6.5 games behind the first-place Memphis Grizzlies. New Orleans was defeated by the Milwaukee Bucks 135-110 on Sunday. Jose Alvarado was the leading scorer for New Orleans with 18 points. New Orleans has been spiraling in the wrong direction, and their top scorers are dealing with injuries. Denver has the advantage in the paint, and their offense should be able to get what they want against a Pelicans defense that just allowed 135 points. Denver has been very tough to beat at home, and I expect them to look to get right after dropping 3 of their last 4. The Nuggets are 6-1 at TS in their last 7, following an ATS loss. Take the Nuggets at home. Our team pick is Denver minus 5.5 points. During their losing sting, the Pelicans have been playing slower basketball, averaging around 4 possessions fewer than their season average. Meanwhile, Denver has been one of the slower teams during the season, sitting at 24th in possessions per game. New Orleans has continued to defend well, especially from the perimeter, and that trend should continue. Both of these offenses are also prone to turnovers, which should result in several dead possessions in this one. The under is 9-2 in the last 11 between these teams. The play is the under.